On the campaign, during the campaign, candidate Trump, he talked about what an amazing negotiator he was going to be in situations like this with companies like Carrier. He said it was going to be super easy once he was president to convince companies like that they should stay in the country, thanks to this one neat trick that he was going to do once he was elected. It was going to be so easy.
We're going to lower taxes, we're going to keep our companies, and if our companies want to leave, they're going to pay a nice, big, beautiful tax to get their product back in, okay? That's what's going to happen. I've watched as politicians talked about stopping countries from leaving.
Trump went on to say that when politicians talked about stopping companies from leaving, they'd say, here's a zero-interest loan you don't have to pay. Here's a tax abatement of any kind you want. We'll help you. It doesn't work, folks. That's not what they need. They have money. They want to go out. They want to move to another country because our politicians are so dumb. They want to sell their products to us and have no consequences and no retribution, and that's over. He said, I would love telling some guy, you're not moving. Well, Mr. President, sir, we'd like to move to Mexico. You're not moving, and if you do, you'll pay a 35% tax. And that business owner will say, well, in that case, I'm not moving. I'm not moving. In that case, I'm not moving. It'll be so easy. That is how Trump portrayed dealing with problems like this on the campaign trail. That's how he would keep companies from moving jobs to Mexico. You wouldn't do all this nonsense about tax abatements. You wouldn't do all this nonsense about offering them loans and incentives and stuff in the tax code. They don't want that. What you do is you tell them, you move to Mexico, you're going to pay a 35% tax, bringing these products that you make in Mexico back into this country. That's specifically what he said he would do to keep this company, Carrier, from taking its job to Mexico. Tell them if they did go to Mexico, he would tax their products 35% to bring those products back in. That's what he said he would do. That is not at all what he has done. And now I think we know why Mike Pence didn't quit his day job as governor of Indiana. Because the way they persuaded this company, Carrier, to keep 1,000 jobs in Indiana was not by doing what Trump said he was going to do. Was not by threatening Carrier with some 35% tax when they wanted to bring those products back into the United States and sell them here. They didn't do that at all. Instead, what they did is they just gave the company $700,000 in taxpayer money. They just paid them. And that's something you don't have the power to do as president-elect. You can't just hand over federal taxpayer money. This wasn't federal taxpayer money that they gave to the company. It was taxpayer money from the state of Indiana. And that's why Mike Pence had to still be governor. Mike Pence gave them Indiana state taxpayer money, $700,000 in tax incentives. They just paid the company to not move those jobs yet, so Trump and Pence can get their photo op tomorrow. The money they're paying them is controlled by a state board in Indiana. It's taxpayer money. That state board doesn't have to approve anything through the legislature. Governor Pence made himself chair of that board. So it's taxpayer money, but he gets to spend it as long as he's governor. And so as governor and the chair of that board, on December 13th, the next day that board meets, Governor Pence will get to approve that flat-out payment to this company with his state's taxpayer money. And that's why he had to not give up his day job, so he could make sure he was still governor on December 13th, so he could give away Indiana state taxpayer money to make it look like Trump did something that he didn't do and that he said he would never do. It's amazing. Trump was like, these ridiculous, weak, dumb politicians that we've got that hand over tax abatements. Doesn't even work. Companies don't even want that. They're handing over a tax abatement. And because Trump doesn't have the power to do that, he had Mike Pence do it to screw his state. $700,000 in tax incentives free to that company. That's how they did it. And I think that's why Mike Pence stayed governor. Ta-da! That's not going to work for 4 years.